Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I hope, sorry again, sorry for the delay. We know that traffic is very bad, so we wanted to wait for a few more guests. Yeah, without further delay, we will just proceed. And I hereby welcome you all for the first MapInfo user conference of Indonesia, organized by Precisely and Adventech together, right? And the reason that I say, Indonesia, this is first time that we're doing it, we meant truly that, it is first time that we are doing for like 39 years of existence of MapInfo, in Indonesia. So we have clients who are using MapInfo in Indonesia for more than 25 years. And the MapInfo community has been growing in Jakarta especially, right? And there are lots of government agencies, universities, telcos, local government units, utilities, and some of the defense agencies are also using MapInfo for various different types of use cases. But for some of you who are new to MapInfo or new to Precisely, I would like to give a quick introduction about who is Precisely, right? So Precisely, it's a global leader in terms of data integrity. So that's what you see there, where we drive lots of capabilities for around data. Location intelligence is one part of the data integrity suite, and MapInfo is under location intelligence suite. So very small application which has great impact in the market, which is under Precisely. Precisely, is a US-based company with 12,000 customers across the globe. Majority of the customers, 99 out of Fortune 100 customers are Precisely, covering varieties of domains like be financial services, retail, or telcos. I can proudly say that 98% of the telco companies in the world uses MapInfo. Literally 98%, right? And being supported by 2,500 employees across this particular region, right? And some of the notable clients that you see on day-to-day basis, some of the international brands, these are very limited. We have about, as I was mentioning, 12,000 customers across the globe. And if you see, all these organizations are using MapInfo. All these organizations are using Precisely location data in making their decisions. Right? You see some big telcos in there. I see fiber FTTX companies are there. I see insurance companies who are doing general and health and crime, theft insurance in specific countries. I see public sector, be it customs, be it veterans department, IRS, for various different use cases, right? And the reason that they work with Precisely is because of three reasons. Number one, the experience that Precisely carries. Precisely is rebranded from Pitney Bowes. Pitney Bowes was the original name, and then we rebranded in 2019 as Precisely by acquiring few other companies. Right? It has domain, that experience, of decades of experience, within the organization, be it managing varieties of data. It's not just only geospatial data that we support, right? We have platforms which can help you to drive data integration, governance, quality, and various other things as well. And comprehensive offerings. We are the only company or geospatial company in the world which can provide both software and the data. Let me try to explain the point a little bit in detail. Right? Some of the geospatial companies, either they just provide the software like ESRI, Global Mapper, and few other things. And there are data companies like Air Maps, Google Maps, and stuff like that. They provide just data. They don't provide their applications. Precisely, we provide both combined together and deliver value to our clients. So that's what I'm going to cover today, in my subsequent slides. And the last thing is, we have, impacted a lot of organizations in making the right decision. You see some of the brands here in Indonesia, like KFC, McDonald's, Starbucks. Globally, they use our platform to drive where they should set up their own retail outlet and why. So we have impacted those kind of decisions with the platform, with the software and data put together. That's why we means precisely is uniquely positioned in the location intelligence space, right? So that's why, where with this platform, you will be able to make, gain, more insights about your data that you have. We provide location context to the data that you can. And we help having a visibility to the data that you have with a location perspective, and with both of them you will be able to make better decisions. So that's how we intend to do it. Now that is a little bit of introduction about precisely. Now I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a channel, there is a model where we sell MapInfo, right? So I'd like to introduce Advantech. I represent Advantech. So Advantech is the local distributor, and I would say location intelligence distributor for entire ASEAN region, where we appoint resellers like INSISTEK to support locally with the clients to have the personalized experience, personalized support and stuff like that, right? So we are the distributors, and INSISTEK is supporting our clients, and MapInfo user base in Indonesia solely, right? And then Advantech is an organization consists of about 350 plus people supporting thousands of. I would say this is just Indonesia. We have 1,000 plus clients across Southeast Asia, countries like Australia, Japan, New Zealand, India, Philippines. I hail from Philippines. I stay. And Advantech carries varieties of solutions created on top of location intelligence. So some of the solutions that we will go through in the subsequent slides as well. So that's a very little bit of Advantech. So we will just run through a bit of agenda today. So now I'll be going through, we are already late, but we'll quickly go through MapInfo and deep dive of MapInfo and what has been added recently in the product, latest updates, and then we have a quick tea break. Then we get into location data and insights. How Precisely's data has been helping a lot of telco companies, fiber companies, utilities, or even marketing teams, expansion teams, experience center growth management team, and all of those things. And then we get into a no-code WebGIS platform. Today MapInfo is all about desktop. How do I bring this capability to web? So that's what we are going to cover, which is absolutely zero coding, without writing to have a single line of code. How are we going to bring these capabilities to the web? And then we'll discuss some of the case studies, and we'll open the floor for questions, and then we'll have a lunch and networking. Right? So this is the agenda for today, and I'm sure I don't want to give a lecture on MapInfo because I believe that all of you are already MapInfo users. So we'll just quickly run through what has been added recently in the latest versions, right? So MapInfo, for some of the people who doesn't know, MapInfo is a desktop geospatial application with a tight integration with external data providers, external APIs, have an extendability capability to drive the analytics around it. I'm pretty sure that none of you would have explored Python within MapInfo, or integrated Snowflake with MapInfo. So those are the new capabilities that we have brought in. And 3D, with the version 2023, we have brought in 3D as well, to have that line of sight analysis, visualization and all that stuff. So again, for few of the people who who's new to MapInfo is not new, right? MapInfo is in existence for almost 4 decades in the industry. It has started off with a DOS application. We are the first one to bring up a ribbon-based interface than anybody else, right? And this actually helps a lot of people in creating the data, managing the data, publishing the data. And if you are in your ecosystem, if you are trying to manage the data centrally through a database and handle the data with a role-based access control, now with MapInfo you will be able to do that. Different types of personas, right? Standard geospatial analysts, or GIS developers, or administrators, database experts, anybody could use. But I would like to share one example. I personally experienced this. Decathlon, one of the retail organization in Hong Kong, chief marketing officer, she is not even technical. She used MapInfo and the data to create or shortlist the locations that she had for entire Hong Kong to see which one is the right location to set up the store, with a half-day training on MapInfo. So that's where MapInfo Pro is being used by varieties of domains, with varieties of roles, who handles varieties of activities and stuff like that. And I get this question almost every day, right? Why somebody should choose MapInfo? What is the so great? What is so great about MapInfo, and why anybody should use? The first thing, the main theme of MapInfo is easy to use. As I was mentioning, right, we are the first one to bring in a ribbon-based interface to have a similar feeling where like how you are using the MS Outlook or MS Excel and stuff like that. And we have, in case if you are handling any sort of a raster data, there is no product in the world who can process the raster data like MapInfo. Literally nobody in the world. So you will be able to process, and we have a format called MRR, multi-resolution raster, which is exclusive to MapInfo only, where you will be able to process gigabytes of raster data with MapInfo. And then the best thing is that with MapInfo you don't have so many license types. In case if you want to customize MapInfo, in case if you want to create plugins on MapInfo, you're free to do it with free of charge. There is no need of having an additional licensing mechanism to customize or develop something on MapInfo. And we have huge community support. I'm not sure if you have had access to MapInfo community portal. Likes of you, there are 100,000 users across the world are posting about MapInfo, how to do, what to do, all of these kind of approaches to different use cases in the community portal. So you will be able to do all of that. We will share those details with you to register and get up to date with MapInfo. And then we, as I was mentioning, right, we have provided this Python capability in case if some of you wants to create a custom plugins on MapInfo, you will be able to do that. You just need to have a Visual Basic programming. That's it. And you can also create these Python consoles within MapInfo, because we enabled Python since the last two versions, where you will be able to create those Python programs and automate the typical day-to-day jobs, repeating jobs that you do today, right? And then again, we'll be able to help you to do all these map basics, managing the data, creating, modifying the data, publishing the data. So we enabled, publishing the data coming from your desktop to a centralized web geospatial server. So which, we will be discussing in subsequent slides as well. And output, we are, I would say, one of the best in terms of creating, outputting PDFs or GeoPDF in case that is one of the requirements that you may have, right? So I'll skip this part because you're already using, for many years, some of the use cases. And I believe majority of the audience here today are from telecommunications. Along with those, scenarios, there are clients who are using this particular, MapInfo to find or to automate the strategic planning of tower selection, site selection for towers. Why this location? What is the line of sight? And number one. Number two, the experience centers. Majority of the telcos have their own experience centers. So where we will be able to help you to rationalize your network with MapInfo, rationalize your store network with MapInfo, right? So these kind of things that we will be able to do and support, from a telco, telecommunications. And you imagine, same scenarios as retail, you will be able to bring it to telco. Same scenarios as government or real estate, in case if you wanted to map the assets, in case if you wanted to, have real-time integration of IoT and visualize those sites into MapInfo? Yes, that's possible. Right? So these different types of use cases that we can, we have built on MapInfo today. And for the audience who are new to MapInfo is a 64-bit application being used by more than 100,000 active users today across the world. And for new customers, we have understood that a lot of clients are looking at, hey, I want the UI to be modern, I want UI to be easy to use, or I want the UI to be easy to customize. I just wanted to have those 10 functions that I everyday use. I don't want any other additional capability or anything. You are free to customize that UI. It's just what you call a selection of options or selection of functions that you wanted to have on the screen. So that kind of a flexibility that we are providing to the users to customize the way that they would want it to. And we have added a lot of capabilities around MapInfo, especially from a base map standpoint. Now you get to have, as long as you are in subscription, you will get to have those base maps that are available. So we have added those 3, GeoBron, GeoMap, GeoSteel, GeoMap item. This is primarily used from a visualization and analysis standpoint. And we have also got in the heat map capability for both vector and raster. So where you will be able to do this kind of hotspot analysis to understand the density of demand points, density of customers, density of higher network usage and stuff like that. And I understand that majority of you might be doing lots of data processing, data querying and stuff like that within MapInfo, right? So for them, for the heavy users of data, I'm sure you would have gone through SQL select capability of MapInfo that we have created, and now we are coming up with the templates where you will be able to create those templates and reuse those templates. You don't have to write the SQL syntax every time. So where you will be able to create those templates and just run those templates, nothing else, right? And then this one thing that I would like to enhance here is precisely as I was mentioning, it's also a data company, right? So what we are trying to do is we are providing 2,000 credits for every desktop user who is in subscription, where you will be able to use those precisely APIs of geocoding, routing and stuff like that. With that, you will be able to come up with these kind of analysis. For example, from this particular site, how much of area that I can cover in 5 minutes of drive time or 5 minutes of walk time. These kind of drive time analysis or walk time analysis can be done within MapInfo, where we integrate the API services. Forget about precisely. If you have some other API service who's providing those kind of data, then you will be able to integrate with those third-party APIs and get those particular access in here. Now imagine from this site, within 10 minutes of drive time, how many households that I can cover. Right? So for that you need to have both demographic data and the drive time data and MapInfo. Precisely provides all these three as part of our services, as part of our product offerings. Right? So that way you will be able to analyze those kind of things in here. And then I'm sure you would have explored the marketplace of MapInfo. So where we have clients, people or the users, heavy users like you, who have been publishing varieties of plugins, which is where you create something where valuable and you think that it's easy to use, it's easy to automate a couple of functions. Then you will find out those kind of plugins which are published by the users like you. Now, in those things, right, in the marketplace where we have created MapInfo drone capability, in case if you have any drone service that you would want to integrate, you will be able to do that as well, right? Now these are some of the enhancements that we have done for MapInfo latest version. Now I just wanted to quickly go through a little bit more about some of the functions that users across the world are using. Majority of the users, right? So we came up with a time series capability where if you wanted to visualize changes in the data, you wanted to analyze that just by pushing data with time, time and date field, you will be able to visualize this time series data. And the other thing is that where if you wanted to have a segregated view about a specific day or a specific month or a specific week, you will be able to get those kind of timeline changes manually being managed, and you will be able to visualize how you will be able to show the trends. Like for example, you want to show the trends to your boss, or you want to show the trends to your network team. So this is one function that you will be able to use to drive those things. And especially in telco domain, we have seen a lot of requirements coming from clients that, hey, I have data in the specific format. I wanted to import that particular data into MapInfo, or I wanted to export the data into a specific format. So for those kind of requirements, we brought in this data importing, exporting it, and this is standard, right? And it's a heavy activity, to be honest, and trying to import huge amount of data into MapInfo. So for that, we came up with this workflow-based part where you will be able to import that particular data in background. While the data is importing, you can still use the application. So this was not there in the previous versions. With the latest versions, where you will be able to import or export activities or certain map processing activities in the background while you are doing some important task within MapInfo. So we have this back-end processing, so you can run multiple tasks, hundreds of tasks running in parallel while you are still using MapInfo. So you don't have to just wait for things to happen. And whenever it is completed, you will be able to see the path or go to that location and stuff like that. And especially you are connected, working in a connected environment where one database is being shared by all the users in real time. And before you commit your changes, you wanted to have latest data and stuff like that. So we have this refresh function where you will be able to use this data refresh capability to get the updates from all users who are using or making those particular changes. Since you started working, before you commit those changes into back to the database, right? So we have this refresh capability to do that. And then where we have come up with this Python capability, and map-based capability to drive your requirements around custom requirements in case if you wanted to make something customizable, right? And then of course the web-based data services, where for example if you have any third-party WMS service or WFS service, or the data that you have stored in some cloud location, and you wanted to integrate, we can still help you to integrate those particular things with the web services function available. And then you also, some of the service providers moved to WFS 2.0. Earlier it was just WFS 1.0. So we have provided this WFS 2.0 capability as well, in case if some of the latest feature services or map services who are using or publishing the data. So we support those WFS 2.0, which is even a large data sets, right? We will be able to help you to process. Example, you wanted to load an entire city's feature data coming from WFS service provider. We can help you do that. Back then it was not possible, but with latest versions you will be able to load huge amount of data also from WFS right now, right? And then the other requirements also, where especially when people are working for any organization, coming up with a specific geospatial background or specific background, and they use certain applications which only provides data in a specific format. So for those clients who wants to have access to a lot of different geospatial formats, so these are some of the formats that we provide as default with MapInfo. And it could be data coming from CAD or data coming from any sort of a geospatial format. So we'll be able to help you with that. But in case, even then you think that, hey, this format is not available for me and it is important for me, then we have this FME translator inbuilt within MapInfo, where you can change or convert the data from MapInfo to other format and other formats to MapInfo. So that's the the capability that we brought in for FME translator, right? So that is one thing that we have added additional functionalities, features and data formats within MapInfo. That's what I meant to by this. And then this one function called MRR. I'm not sure if you're familiar with MRR. So it's a multi-resolution raster, which is exclusive to MapInfo. This only works in MapInfo, and it is only available for MapInfo users. If you want to handle gigabytes, I would say, I've tested with 40 GB of raster data, and you would want to have that raster calculations, especially when you do the network planning, telco network planning, you would want to understand the heights, depths, and etc. etc. So you'll be able to hill shade analysis, view shed analysis. Those kind of analysis can be done with MRR with literally fraction of seconds. With other products, it's nearly impossible. I can bet with anybody who wants to prove me wrong on this. So this multi-resolution raster will help you to render the tiles on the fly. So where you will be able to look at the changes analysis within fraction of seconds. Right? If you have not tried it, I would recommend you to try that. Next time when you try to have raster data, right? And then this raster data primarily meant for telcos who are driving this 5G planning, analysis, and stuff like that. So major telcos in US, T-Mobile uses the same thing to have that map the real-time customer verified coverage map by integrating varieties of data like CDR data, road network data, road test analysis, and the logs they get from data usage, calls usage, and stuff like that. They combine all together and they create this MRR in real time, and they show that indoor quality, outdoor quality of 5G, 4G, 3G plus, and stuff. Varieties of network coverage using this particular thing, and they do this strategic planning using the MRR data, right? And there are British Telecom, BT is using it for their FTTX and also the 5G tower planning in the country, right? So yeah, and then we came up with this 3D capability. I'm not sure if you have explored 3D capability, but if not, I would really request you to explore this to have varieties of visualization capability with the 2D data that you have. For example, if you have a Z value and to give the other dimension, be it depth or height or volume or anything, you will be able to do that with MapInfo now to have that kind of visualization. So what we have done is we have brought in this advanced 3D capability for advanced version, MapInfo Pro Advanced license version, where you will be able to have this kind of it's like an add-on similar to the raster add-on to MapInfo if you are using it, and where you will be able to run different types of terrain use cases, or if you wanted to analyze some sort of a Z or M value of data that you have, you will be able to do that. I'll just run a little bit of demo around 3D, which is a demo recording. I'll just run through it how it works now for use case. So we have this similar to Google Earth, where visualization capability for the data for your terrain analysis, primarily to do that kind of line of sight and stuff like that. And if you brought in your geospatial data, so you wanted to have that kind of a density analysis. Example, number of people living or number of households living in that particular area. You don't want to have those kind of 3D visualization. So for now it's 2D. When we apply this value, it automatically renders that particular thing, and where you can have a side-by-side analysis to have that little one more perspective about the buildings that you have and stuff like that, right? So that's the MapInfo 3D capability. And if you have any sort of a 3D data, for example, structural information, and you wanted to render that particular data to visualize. So in case if you have 3D data of a building and structure and texture and everything, you will be able to use this to analyze that particular part as well, right? And if you are coming from mining industry or any other specific deep exploration that you wanted to do, so subsurface analysis, you will be able to use the same application to do that kind of a subsurface analysis. Especially scenarios like a drill hole analysis. So these things will help you to see how your assets or subsurface visualization that you will be able to do it within the system, right? So some of the other use cases. So primarily this is for towers. So we wanted to look at those kind of analysis that you wanted to do with both above the surface and subsurface. You will be able to visualize this. This is primarily a mining use case that you wanted to have. So that's how it is done in 3D for the 3D, and primarily 3D is being used so far in our case studies and client winnings that we have made. Primarily, majority of them are from network planning. Telco network planning. Some of them are in disaster risk, oil and gas, exploration, and then mining. And then of course this is being used in urban planning also. Especially they wanted to look at some sort of a tax collection requirements. They wanted to know which area which area is not paying majority of the taxes, identifying specific buildings, calculated with age of delay and stuff like that. So those kind of use cases are being done by clients across the globe, right? Now, we see that a lot of the times, right, people wants to visualize this public, data from any device that they carry. I don't have to go back to my laptop or desktop to visualize the data or analyze the data. So for them, what we have brought in today as a tight integration with MapInfo. So we call it as Spectrum Spatial, which would actually, from your desktop, you can just simply publish or upload this data to a centralized spatial repository. And from there, the leaders or the analysts or the business users can simply view the data and analyze the data similar to what you do in MapInfo, but over the web, over the phone, over the tablet. You will be able to, over the iPad, you will be able to do that using Spectrum Spatial. And the connection, simple as that, you just upload that particular data into a specific repository. So any sort of a specific repository that you will be able to choose and publish based on a role-based access control. So within this, for example, within your group, you have a person who creates the data, a person who validates the data, and a person who analyzes the data, and a person who just see the data. They will not make any activity on it. So all of that can be done by integrating with MapInfo and our Spectrum Spatial. It's a lightweight geospatial application that we are going to build, that we are going to provide as part of the offer, right? Next thing is marketplace. We have seen, a while ago we have seen a marketplace, but this marketplace, enables users to even create their own plugins and publish it. In case if you want to make money, if you think that you have a plugin which is very useful, can be used by all telcos across the globe, and you can create this plugin and you can publish that plugin into MapInfo and you can put a price to it. We will sell it for you. While you are using MapInfo, we will be able to help you to make money out of this particular MapInfo. We will market it across the MapInfo users across the world. So that's the benefit of our marketplace today, where users are free to sell their own plugins by uploading it directly. And we have access to hundreds of plugins available in the marketplace at free of charge. You will be able to use those particular things. And we have made some sort of enhancements around visualization. So where you will be able to work with both the tabular and spatial and non-spatial data at one time in a single interface, where you will be able to have multiple windows being managed and monitored and getting updated at the same time, right? So this is some of the usability updates that we have made in the recent versions. By the way, there is a new version that is coming up called 2023.2. So far this year in the February, we have released a version called 2023.1. Now, by end of this month, we will be releasing officially to everybody as 2023.2, where we have added additional capability for users to directly work with the feature services of Precisely alone, right? So we will share those details with you, and post this. Now, the other question, I get this every day. At least 2 people will ask me this question: what is the competitive advantage of MapInfo, and why anybody should choose MapInfo? You see, where we have done some sort of a market study with the computation software called ESRI or Global Mapper and few other open source tools. If you look at the segments that we have categorized, right? I'm a geospatial student. I did my 4 years graduation in GIS, and I take the functions very seriously when it comes to my my work. And when I look at the overall functionality, both vector and raster data, MapInfo is on par with ESRI in terms of the day-to-day usage. ESRI has, no offense to ESRI. ESRI has, let's assume that they have 400 functions. Am I using those 400 functions? And why I am paying 5 times the price of MapInfo? So that is the question that I always ask my clients. So while you are using the same functions with MapInfo, with a better usability and ease of use. Again, the next one, ease of use. I would say we are number 1 in terms of ease of use, because its ribbon-based interface would actually let you focus on most important functions that you use on a day-to-day basis, right? And spatial analysis tools, I agree ESRI has more spatial analysis tools, but our analysis tools are just right and just nice to be able to support my the BA, right? 3D visualization, we just got started earlier this year. Next year we have a strong focus on 3D visualization. You will see a lot of 3D analysis can be done with MapInfo in the subsequent versions that we are going to release in the upcoming years. And raster analysis, as I was mentioning, we are far better than anybody else when it comes to raster data. We have an advantage of MRR, which nobody else has. And along with MRR, we will also be able to help you with other raster data capability, whether you have geotiff images or any sort of LiDAR data, point cloud data. We can help to bring all of those things and process that particular data with MapInfo. Right? Likewise, we have customizations where we don't need a specific license for you to customize MapInfo. It's part and parcel of the same licensing mechanism, right? So that's the benefit that you are going to get, with MapInfo. And then we have, geocoding services, which in fact the competitors buy geocoding and map data from us on a yearly basis, right? The data, even Google, Indonesia or Year Maps Indonesia buy data from Precisely. So that's where we have advantage, far more advantage than anybody else in terms of data. And then we have database integrations. All the standard ODBC, be it Oracle Spatial, MS SQL Spatial, or PostGIS, all those spatial databases we can integrate. And we have added Snowflake recently to support our clients with all sorts of heavy geospatial analysis that you would want it to do. Cost effective, we are much affordable compared to ESRI. 2/5 of the cost of money that you are spending on ESRI can be resolved with us. Right? It can be with 2/5 of the cost you will be able to get those kind of functions that you will be able to do. And we have a huge community portals and support that you will get. Similar to you, how T-Mobile is using MapInfo. How would I know? So T-Mobile users have access to our community portal. They share lots of updates on how they are using MapInfo, how they are achieving greater excellence in their day-to-day, network operations or RAN planning, everything, through MapInfo. Likewise, we have all those 100,000 user base community, who's helping other MapInfo users across the globe. And then you think that there's a function that you think would actually help users like you. It's an idea that you wanted to bring that on top of MapInfo. You just be able to put that particular idea into our idea portal. And our dev team, our product team will be able to take that idea up and build the function for you. So we prioritize the ideas which has got more votes. To be honest, the last 3 versions of MapInfo, all the functions that we created, all the new functions that we created in the last 3 versions, all those ideas came from users like you, who put on their requirements in idea portal, and those got votes, and the product team, development team and R&D team picked those ideas up and build the functions and plugins on MapInfo. So that's the value that we give to the feedback that is coming from the customers and the ideas that they would want to share. I really encourage all of you to register to precisely idea portal to put your ideas or challenges in there. So where users like you across the globe, either they recommend how they are doing it, or the product team will pick up that particular idea and create it for you in the next version. Right? Again, these are some of the capabilities, where we feel, users feel that it matters to them, right? In terms of functionalities, integrations, customer support, and ideas and stuff like that. Next thing is, what is the theme, or what is the major focus for MapInfo precisely in building the roadmap for MapInfo? So I call this as 5 pillars for our, from precisely standpoint. These are our 5 themes of developing our product. Number 1, we give highest focus towards ease of use, making sure that users feel easy to use the platform. Making sure that they will be able to create, manage their data, analyze the data, and publish the data. That is the first and priority theme for us in building our roadmap. And then integration and automation. In the subsequent years, because I know I have visibility towards the roadmap, we are building automation capability, where if you are doing a same activity every day or every time, we are going to help you to automate that particular task for you with MapInfo in the coming versions, right? And then integration. So recently we have brought in Snowflake, and we have plans to bring in Hadoop, and there are a few other databases where you'll be able to directly integrate with MapInfo, right? To process and stuff like that. And we have advanced vector capability, as I was mentioning. So if you have, if you're a programmer or a .NET programmer and you don't want to use MapInfo and you wanted to run this kind of raster analysis in the backend, so we provide SDK where you will be able to use this SDK to do whatever the same activity that you are doing in MapInfo. You really don't have to go through MapInfo to do those things, right? And we are building strategic partnerships with some of the government agencies, some of the organizations who are well versed with MapInfo and the use cases around clients. We are making some strategic partnerships in building those specific plugins, specific functionalities, and stuff like that to support our clients in, I know some of the clients, have customized the product on their own. So we wanted to bring those kind of functionalities into the product so that that particular functionality is accessible to everybody, in the market, right? And then, of course, we are getting into the technical leadership, space where we are building these new tools to, especially areas like 3D, to support clients to not to use multiple applications to do the same activity. We have seen clients who are using MapInfo for 2D activities and using some third-party tools, to analyze that particular line of sight or cross-section analysis or view shed, hill shed analysis, and stuff like that in another application. We are helping them not to, we are helping them the roadmap within MapInfo, where you will be able to do all of those things in one single interface or one application, rather than purchasing multiple applications to do it. So that is the other thing that we are building for MapInfo, so that you are protected and your interests are protected with MapInfo. Now, the other questions that I've been getting from my clients, recently, even Indosat also was asking a couple of questions around license mechanisms and stuff like that, right? So, we just wanted to quickly go through on the available licensing mechanism of MapInfo. So, primarily, for all the private organizations, we have this subscription, where you will be able to use this either multi-year or a single year subscription. And then we have a perpetual software for standard, where primarily for the government organizations. But again, we'll have to take it up on case-to-case basis. So where you will be able to get a standard version of MapInfo with standard capabilities. And then we have perpetual advanced, where you will be able to use all capabilities of standard plus raster and 3D. So where you will also have the base maps of being for roads, highway, streets, and hybrid. And then we have concurrent licensing mechanism. If you are an organization who wants to use more than 50 licenses or 100 licenses, and you don't want to, and you don't think that you will be able to use all the users use this in real time. So for them, we provide a concurrent licensing mechanism where you purchase, example, right? 15 licenses, and those 15 licenses can be accessed by 50 users. But at any given point in time, only 15 users can only use that license. So we have, we have this concurrent licensing mechanism for the users to not to buy more licenses and don't use it. So this is only for flexibility of the users. Now you might ask this question: what is the difference between standard and advanced? Right? So this is what our MapInfo version comparison between standard and advanced. So where you pretty much do everything in standard outside of 3D, outside of raster. But if it is advanced, you will be able to do everything. Everything with advanced. But cost, the major factor is a little bit more costlier than standard version. But you will be able to do all of those things within MapInfo. Right? So any questions, anyone so far? Okay. So what else we can do? So we have a product called MapExtreme. You wanted to create a .NET based application and you don't want to use desktop based geospatial application. For the heavy users who wants to create a custom .NET based applications, we will be able to, you will be able to get all the functionalities of MapInfo over the web. So that's where you use MapExtreme to create those custom applications with the help of the MapInfo SDKs. So it's fully equipped with all the functionalities of MapInfo, and where you will be able to create those, because we have this templates already created and deployed within MapExtreme, where you will be able to use the same templates and create those functions or applications using Visual Studio and publish your own EXEs or publish your own web applications. Right? Especially when you wanted to integrate with any sort of a third-party applications. For example, you want to integrate SAP with MapInfo, or you want to integrate your CRM with MapInfo. So that's where this scenario of MapExtreme comes into the picture. So where you will be able to use these geospatial functions over the web, right? So that is the the other capability or other option that you have with MapInfo. Next question that I usually get: pricing. How is the pricing looks like? How affordable or how much it costs for standard version, all that stuff, right? My answer always would be affordable. So we can help to cater to your budgets, depends upon the volume of licensing that you are purchasing, right? So where if you are looking at huge volume of licenses and you wanted to have a special discount, we can work with our local partner to provide you and support you to meet your budgets, right? Next time when you're trying to see how much budget I should cater, please do let us know in advance. We will be able to provide a special discount, special pricing for you if the volume is high, right? If it is less than 50-20 copies, we still try to give you a lot more discount, because if you're an existing customer, you will have a leverage of having a specific discount already. So yeah, so when it comes to licensing, it's affordable. Next thing that I want to talk about is, I know I'm towards the end already about MapInfo. So these are the resources that you will be able to get. Number one, you will be able to have the ideas, an idea portal where you will be able to post all your ideas, and then you get votes there. Whichever idea gets more votes, that those top 10 ideas will fall into the product roadmap for the next version. And then we will have a community portal where you will be able to see how of a specific use case or a scenario can be used or can be done. So where you will see all the product experts, product architects, and the users and the power users of MapInfo across the world keeps posting in that particular community portal on how to see, how to do it and all that stuff. Of course, along with the tutorials that are available in the market. And then we have MapInfo Lab, where you will get to see the latest functionalities of MapInfo, what is coming up, which is in the testing phase. You will be able to get early access of MapInfo to try that out. Right? So there are different resources for you. One is on the community, user community. Next one is developer user groups, where you will be able to see lots of MapInfo developers in the market, accessing this particular system to on guiding how to develop, what they have developed, all those things that you will be able to see in here. Next thing is MapInfo Lab. So this is exclusively from the product team, where they will be pushing all minor versions there for you to try out. It's like a beta version of next versions. And then we have a YouTube playlist where you will see how to do or how to use this specific function. We have created hundreds of MapInfo training videos there and posted in the YouTube playlist. You will have access to it, and then the standard product resource maps and stuff like that. And this is how it would look like. So we have different varieties of communities, and for MapInfo there is one community called MapInfo Pro User Community. When we will share you the URLs. The moment you go there, you will be able to see all those ideas or posts or events, everything will be posted in that particular space for you to have access to it, right? So that's how that much value that we give to our MapInfo users, where we created this community because we felt that MapInfo community is not together, not connected. So we wanted to bring all the community together, so that how things are being done in a different country, in a different industry, so that you get to know what's happening around the world. So that's the reason we built this community. And at any given point in time, you still feel that something is not happening, something is not working, something, I wanted to try this, how do I do it? I want to, support my FTTH team in their strategic planning, how can I help using MapInfo? Please do reach out to us, where we will be able to help you with all of those things. Right? So that ends my session on MapInfo. I don't want to bore you more, so let's have a tea break, let's refresh, and then we look at how my no-code web geospatial application